great new features. AI public avatars are here. So Bemodo's avatars are here. Jim, I know that you guys have your own platform, your own white label platform with things. So this is something that you're going to want to do. And I'll do a separate training for you personally, so you can implement this on yours. And one of the main things that every time somebody comes onto Bemodo, they're thinking, all right, what am I creating content for? And so here's my question to you guys as you're coming on here. What do you typically create content for? I'd love to hear it from you guys who are on here. I'm going to turn on the chat in the different places, but what is it that you typically create your content? Thomas, I know you do it for different reasons. Candy, you've got different reasons. I mean, everybody who's on here is doing chat for different purposes, or different content for different purposes. What do you guys typically create content for with Bemodo?
This is Tom. I've mostly been doing short form blog posts.
Cool.
And using them as ads. That works well with my audience.
Cool. And I know that with yours, so you typically do senior citizen type products. So you work B2C, right? So you're working with consumers with that. Have you currently made an avatar, your own avatar, that helps you with that content? Or do you do it purely based upon your prompts or the templates that are within Bemodo?
No, I have actually, I've separated out probably 3 different avatars for different purposes, for different types of content.
Cool. So you're using it for all kinds of different things. And I'm going to show you today how, if you want to create your own team, you can do this at a different time. A lot of times, Jim, when you guys first came on, you guys were creating landing pages, and you're creating sales funnels and things of that nature. So as an example, the first public avatar that I created was let me just show you guys rather than talk about it. So I created, it's called the Bemodo Funnel Avatar. So let me share this with you guys here. All right, I'll just do the whole desktop there. But all right, so this is the Bemodo Funnel Builder Avatar. So once you're inside of Bemodo, you can see that I have a ton of different avatars. I use them for all my different businesses, the different clients that I help personally. This is something that we use to be able to create grants. This is something for all Bemodo's marketing. This is to do all of my workouts. I mean, there's not much in my life that I haven't turned into an avatar. So what we've created now is something that's called the Bemodo Funnel Builder Avatar. And when I first started building avatars, when I first started doing this, it was because I've spent so much money on experts, right? So just down the road from us here in Boise is Russell Brunson's ClickFunnels offices. And I remember the first time I spent $6,000 for a private weekend with 60 other people who came for a intimate training. That's not a very intimate training, but I paid $6,000 to learn how to build funnels from one of the best funnel builders on the planet, which is Russell Brunson. And in the AI Power 20 that I sent out to you guys, there's a lot of other guys that I follow that I learn a ton from. So I've learned a lot from Russell, spent a lot of money on his different events, subscribing to his platforms. I don't know if you know who Frank Kern is. He's pretty amazing. Each one of these people that I follow, Frank is really good at helping you understand your audience. And one of the things that Bemodo does is really helps you define your target market, and really refine and understand their doubts, their problems, their pain points to be able to do that. But Frank, if you wanted to spend an hour with Frank, you're going to spend about $100,000 just to spend an hour with him. With Russell Brunson, I think you'd be lucky if he helped you build it for $100,000. He has people that pay him $1 million to have him help you design your program, or design your funnel for you. Ryan Deiss, he became really famous because he was on Shark Tank. He's a young guy and he's brilliant, and he has a role at digital marketer for the business that one of the businesses that he's a part of. And if you want to spend time with him, it's likely going to cost you $50,000 to $100,000 to be able to have him help you. And then Seth Godin's he's a legend. And one of the things that Seth, not only is he an author, but he really helps you establish trust and credibility. So as I was building these public avatars for Bemodo, I thought, wouldn't it be great if we're going to be creating avatars and spending money on advertising on Meta? Wouldn't it be great if I were able to pre-program an avatar that had the intelligence of these 4 really, really successful people? And that's what we've done. So I want to show you really quickly how it is that I've done this. And I want to show you some new features that are a part of Bemodo that will help you really start to take advantage of some of the things that we have in here. Let me move this video up so I can actually see. You guys may not be able to see it, but there it is. It's on the right side. So within the avatar itself, once you do this, it's a really simple way of doing machine learning. And you can go through the avatar trainer. So if you come into the templates, you can see right here, the avatar trainer will walk you through step by step on creating an avatar for your business. And one of the last things that it has you do is it's called a context statement. And these context statements tell the avatar who it is and how to use all the editable files that you put into it. So this particular avatar right here is designed to help you be guided through the process of creating an expert sales funnel. And a sales funnel has a lot of different things that are a part of it, but this will walk you through step by step with the prompt I'm going to give you to be able to really understand how to create a funnel, the funnel outline before you implement it. So I really encourage you guys. It's already right now inside of all of your platforms. If you do a search or if you do if you go to the avatars itself, you'll see that it's in there and it's already programmed for you to be able to help you start to build a funnel. So this is what I did on the video that I sent out to everybody in the newsletter. And it's a really simple process. All you got to be able to do to be able to take advantage of this is you'll make sure, I'm going to pull this avatar off, and you'll just see what's inside of yours is just select Bemodo Funnel Builder Avatar. Okay. And it will already be ready for you. It's already programmed with some of the best expertise of those 4 experts to be able to walk you through and create the outline for your funnel. The template that you're going to use, you're just going to see it's right here. I'm going to go in. You'll see it's just right under, whoops, let me go under all. And it's called Funnel Strategist Report, because this is going to create a funnel report for you that I'm later in different trainings going to help you output and create the funnel from start to scratch. And unlike my good buddy Russell, I'm not going to charge you $6,000 for the weekend to do it. So hop on and I'll help you in some of these next trainings on taking it from start to finish, on having these experts in there, what they've been trained to do to help you understand how to build this funnel expertly. All you've got to do is make sure that you've got the Bemodo Funnel Builder Avatar selected, put some basic information about your business, your product, your service. When you're building these, I suggest you use more information rather than less. And rather than me just walk you through it, like I did on the video, all it does is it starts to ask you questions. And one of the things that I'll just remind you, each time you're stuck, just ask it to help you. So the first step will happen after you put in your business name, your product, your service, is it's going to ask you what type of funnel you want help creating. Okay. And if it's a lead gen, sales, webinar, email marketing, or product launch, I always do lead generation, but I just told it to give me some suggestions. And so then it educated me on all of the different types of funnels that these experts are very skilled at creating. So once again, I copped out and I said, well, what should I do? And it read my business name. It looked at my product or service. And then it gave me a recommendation of doing a lead generation funnel. And it told me why I should do it. And then it said either I can give it more questions or I could ask it more questions, or it'll take me to the next step. So from there, it goes to helping me clearly identify my target audience. Now, many of you have already created your target audience, so you could just paste it in there, but this will do a really nice job of just giving you some of the basics if you don't know them. And once again, if you don't know them, ask it to help you, and it will automatically start to do that. And so what I was doing it for was our Bemodo Capital. And we've been helping people get, interestingly enough, helping them get grants for their business, these multi-euro grants. And we're in the process. This is obviously, Bemodo is a very expensive platform to maintain, and somebody referred us to them. And so we applied for a multi-million euro grant, and I got so excited about it, I started to share it with other people. And so I was just asking how it is that I could create my Bemodo Capital website to be able to start to introduce people to that. And it just walks me through their interests, their pain points, because all of this is really important to be able to then start to give you the content and the overview for your lead magnet, for your funnel page, for all the information that's in there. And so it takes through the steps that these experts recommend. For me, I almost always choose the demo so I can help people understand if they qualify. And when I'm doing the AI platform on how I can be able to help them market their business. And I always try to give a ton of value in each one of those different platforms. That way, when a person, even if they don't buy from me, they walk away with a bunch of value rather than just a sales call. From there, it gives me the different suggestions on how to do it. I said I'll do a free consultation. And then it starts to help me craft my landing page content, my lead magnet, my call to action, and even gives me video suggestions if I want to be able to do it. And then the last step, it'll give me some suggestions on the email sequence. And once it's all approved, then what it'll do is it's going to give me a funnel plan for Bemodo Capital. It gives me the age range. It gives me their issues. It gives me the suggestion on the call to action with it. It gives me compelling headlines. It gives me suggestions on how to be able to get people onto a call with me, and gives me, and even with that, the follow-up sequence and how I should do it. The upcoming steps that I'm going to be able to help you with is not only that, but be able to truly print out and create all the different details for each one of those, and then even go high level and show you how to start to implement those. But what I really encourage you to do, because I want to show you one other step, and make sure you just check out the video that's inside of your newsletter, and it will walk you through a little bit more step by step with that. And it really is a great tool, because even inside of here, once you've got that avatar selected, you have the ability just to ask these experts some questions. Ask them, if you've got Seth Godin, just say, "This is great. I want to ask the digital avatar in the representing Seth Godin some questions." And has anybody on here read any of the books that Seth Godin has put out? Strongly recommend his books. He really talks about connecting with people, and he's been writing them for the last 20 years. And so as you go through this process, it's really important that you understand more about these different people. But I just recommend that you take a look at what some of these people have done. For example, with Seth, he has some spectacular books, and what he'll do is he'll walk you through and help you start to be a better storyteller, to be able to connect with people that are in your target market. And so you have the ability with this avatar to go in and specifically ask them questions about your target market, about specific points about the funnel as you're building it. But the first step right now is it's going to help you outline and create that funnel process by giving you a map to start off with. So I just wanted to review that. And I know in the video I sent that out, but I really encourage you to check out the avatars and to start to use this Bemodo Funnel Builder to help you create the outlines for any of these pages that you're going to create, especially if you're going to be doing advertising with any of the major platforms. Before I get to some cool new features, do any of you have any questions on how this funnel builder worked? And I would just go ahead and unmute yourself, put it in chat, however you want to do it. But I'd also love to hear, before I start to create them, what other avatars would be helpful for you to be able to help you with your business as you're thinking about it. As I'm going to create a list of about 5 to 10 of them and start loading those into Bemodo. But I'd love to hear from you, either questions you have on how to use these public avatars, or on any questions that you may have about or suggestions for future avatars. Love to hear it. Unmute yourself, put it in chat, tell me what you're thinking.
This is actually really amazing. So you know that I've been following Jeff for like a really long time, just watching this whole thing develop. And one of my frustrations up to this point has been I can build something, I can create something, but it doesn't get me to the end of having somebody in front of me in my office. It doesn't lead me to, I have trouble getting to making it impact my sales.
Right.
And this is going to be a game changer. I feel certain of that.
So you do a lot of sales, Thomas. And so, for example, you sell to senior citizens, a lot of different insurance and different government programs that are available to them. And so one of the things that I'd thought about putting in here as an avatar, and love your feedback, because you're right, you have been using this and you've been creating the ads, but even a sales avatar, to be able to put in questions and to put, for example, he's passed now, but his name is Chet Holmes, and Chet Holmes wrote a book on closing sales. He's really spectacular at it. And to be able to put his expertise, which is publicly available. I don't take anything that's not publicly available, but you put it in there and it gives you the ability to ask a question to some of the top salespeople on the planet. Because that's one of the things that you talked about is, what do I do if I, in this scenario, even give it the ability for you to put in a scenario and ask it how some of the top salespeople would resolve some of those concerns. Is that kind of, is that the type of thing that you're talking about to help you finish, not only get people to your site, not only to get the leads, but to finish the sales process?
In some ways it is. I do a lot of Medicare, which is not so much sales as it is order taking.
Right.
I mean, it's not very challenging in terms of professional sales. But as I develop as a salesperson, one of the things that makes a huge difference, and it's just true for any business, is how do I make that customer more valuable, right? So then there's dental insurance and life insurance and final expense and all these other product annuities and whatever else. And those things require more skills. So first I need to be able to transition from just my order taking Medicare life to more crossover products.
Well, and I think that's a great idea with it. And what I would encourage all of you to do is kind of think through, if you had, because I admittedly spent a lot of time training these digital avatars to be able to do, to write in the proper tone, to be able to create the proper expertise, because AI is everywhere. But how do you get it so it truly sounds human, and it can really assist you with the different problems that you're having within the different niches that you have. Candy, you had actually sent me an email right before this webinar, and you had talked about you want to be able to try to get one of these European grants. And that's going to be one of the avatars that we're going to create, that has the information and the different templates that you need to be able to speed up that 6-month process that it typically takes to get one of these multi-million euro grants, is to be able to walk you through the process of applying and creating these giant reports that some of these European governments are looking for to be able to get it. So be thinking about that, and I really encourage you to send in your suggestions on what you want to be able to do with some of those avatars. Here's something new. Now, the different people that have the white label for Bemodo, this isn't available yet because I want to always test it on ours before I put it on yours. So, Jim, if you see this public avatar and you want to use it, let me know. Also, make sure that before we do this, you want to feel comfortable with it. I'm going to show you how to use different platforms. Okay, so right now, a lot of different platforms use OpenAI API key, and Bemodo is no different. It gives you the ChatGPT 4.0 mini. So we always use the most updated API for any of the different platforms. So as soon as ChatGPT comes out with the new one, we'll upgrade that. But we have just implemented Grok, which is XAI, Elon Musk's company, as well as Claude into this. And you say, well, why would I want some of those? Why would I want anything different? Well, ChatGPT oftentimes doesn't have near the personality that Grok does. Grok has a lot of personality, sometimes too much personality if you're not careful when you're creating some of the responses. So, for example, if you're doing, it's called the reply guy strategy, which is going on to social media and giving positive remarks to people, and to be able to really start to network. Grok's a good one if you want to be sassy. You can tone it down, and I can show you in future trainings how to do this. And Claude kind of has a nice little undercurrent tone of personality to it. But both Grok and Claude have more personality than ChatGPT does. So as you're thinking about that, I just want to encourage you to start to use these different ones. For right now, I'm just going to put unset, and I'll create that new platform chat right there. I'm going to remove my avatar because, I'm sorry, when I hit, let me go back in there. So if I'm going to edit this, I can choose whatever platform I want to use on there. So if I want to use Grok, I'll hit Grok. If you just put unset, it'll automatically go to ChatGPT. But right now it's using Grok. And so if I were to use, for example, and I wanted to, if I wanted to respond to somebody on X or make a viral tweet, let's just do, for example, this controversial tweet. Let me pull these photos out of the way here. Goodness sakes. Zoom is making it difficult. There we go. All right. So on the controversial take tweet, I'm going to use Grok because it makes far more controversial information or responses than does OpenAI. It's so I'm just going to put on here 10 number of characters. Let's put 150 characters. Topic of the tweet. Somebody give me something a little bit more controversial, would you? And we'll just test it so you get an idea of how it works with Grok. Something controversial. I'm ready.
Politics are always controversial.
What is?
Politics are always controversial.
All right, let's just do it.
That's exactly where I was just going to go, Dave.
So, by the way, if you put what I'm about to put into OpenAI, it's going to make it, ChatGPT, it's going to tone it down quite a bit. You can get ChatGPT to be a little bit more aggressive, but it doesn't take much for Grok to make it aggressive. So I'm just going to be super, super aggressive here. I'll just say opponents of tariffs are idiots. Okay, sorry. I told you I was going to make it in there. And I'm just going to put in here tone and style, mimic. I'm going to put the most controversial guy I can think of right here. Mimic Matt Walsh. Matt Walsh is always controversial. And what it'll do is Grok is far more likely to give me aggressive responses. If you hate tariffs, you're prioritizing ideology over American jobs. It's time to wake up and realize that workers deserve protection. Those who oppose tariffs display economic ignorance. Tariffs create a level playing field for business. So far, it's not quite as mean as I thought he'd be. But opponents of tariffs are dupes. Okay, now it's coming. There's some Matt Walsh language. The willingness to trade away our cheaper jobs, import, and laugh while sufferers work. All right, it's starting to be a little. Let's go to number one and see if that's one. Oh, here we go. It actually put the idiots in there. Opponents of tariffs are idiots. They ignore economics and importance of protecting American jobs from foreign competition. Those against tariffs are fools. So what I'm telling you is, if you want a little bit of, I'm going to say, let's do this now. So write a 500. Now that I have it in Grok, a 500 word essay in the tone of who's another one that will be very easy to recognize, Joe Rogan about this topic. So when you do this within ChatGPT, it's pretty tame. And I would guess that with Joe, and even when you tell it to emulate Joe Rogan, unless you take an avatar or a GPT within there, you really have to train it on using words that Joe Rogan would use. And so as you go through this, you'll be able to see that it's very similar to the tone and style of Joe Rogan, words that he uses, and you can even tell it to swear. And Grok is far more likely to start to obey that. So I only did that as an example to give you an idea on how to start to use it. I'm not, I don't spend much time doing politics on X, but I would really encourage you to play with some of those different platforms and to test how they work. So I'm just going to switch this one to Claude, and Claude is part of Anthropic, which is a very safe platform, but it also gives you a little bit of personality in there. So I encourage you guys to try some of those. Send me on some of the different public avatars that you'd like me to add to Bemodo, and I really encourage you to start to use the different platforms to see which ones you enjoy the most. And the last thing I'd tell you is, you can only use the avatars with ChatGPT. You can't use the avatars with Grok or Claude because they're programmed differently. But I encourage you to take a look at them. I encourage you to use them, and love to get your feedback on those, and love to get some of the feedback that you have on the public avatars. So with that said, I went through a little bit longer on the instruction this week, but love to hear any of the questions you have, or anything that I can help you with that from the week and your content that you've been creating. And was there any emails that are sent in? You guys unmute yourself if you have them. If not, then we will wish you guys well this week and happy creation. But any other questions you guys have this week?
I would like to add that I think the funnel builder avatar is going to be a great addition.
Well, good. And if you play with it a bit, and you tell me when you're ready to put it into your platform, and we'll get it added to your platform as well.
Okay. Yeah. I guess if you want to shoot us a calendar link or whatever, and then we'll just make an appointment.
Sounds good. So send it on, and I'll send it on to you, and you guys schedule it, and I'll walk you through on making sure you guys know how to use it on your white label. Okay.
It's not only valuable for us, but it's also going to be valuable for all of our clients as well.
It will. And you do a lot of financial education, a lot of different credit card processing. One of the things, and I know that you have a lot of your salespeople that use your platform, you would be able to preload a public avatar on your platform of financial education. You'd be able to make sure that it's preloaded with what it can and cannot say. That's a lot of the power of that. And now when your different salespeople get on your platform, they aren't going to be confused or even need to spend the time making an avatar. They would be able to create and create content using the avatar that you've pre-created. So that's what I can teach how to do.
Jeff.
Yeah, Thomas.
So have you real world tested this to see what kind of results you get from funnels built this way?
Well, I can tell you that what this is this is just the same process that I've been using for the last 7 or 8 months that have created hundreds of thousands of dollars of business. And all I've done is simplified it and pre-programmed an avatar to be able to do it. So to answer your question is I'm just going to give you guys all of what's in my head and all of these Russell Brunson $6,000 weekends that I've paid for to be able to save you guys some of that. So the answer is 100% yes. This is tested, and it's just going to make it easier for you to walk through a process of building some of these different outputs.
Okay, well, I think it's going to be fun to give that a whirl. You know, with the ability to budget like on Facebook and some of the other ad platforms, this is that's not an expensive proposition at this point.
Yeah, I think it's gonna. I know you're spending money on different ads, and for you to be able to even do split testing and try different things with that, and even to create. You gave me another idea, of course, is to create an advertising avatar, to have some of the knowledge base of the call to actions of that work. Russell Brunson, for example, has used Dan Kennedy a lot in the different things that he's done to be able to put the formulas of Dan Kennedy, which are already in some of the different templates that we've got on there, to be able to put them into this process as well. So I'm glad you guys are liking it. Give it a try this week. I think you're going to love it. And we're going to continue to make some more of these public avatars that are already pre-trained, so you don't have to do it and load them with information. So, Ange, any other questions that people submitted this week with the newsletter?
No?
Well, good. I'm glad that this was helpful, and be sure you guys try and test some of your output that you do. Dave, I know you do a lot of things on Twitter, on X. Have you tried using Grok to make some of the responses to people on there?
Not yet. I usually just go with the unset one, like you showed me,
and then you
seems,
use the avatar that I've already pre-trained for me, right?
yeah. Since I mostly respond to people and I don't, create the tweets like you are, the unset seems to work well for the responses.
And just to be clear, so what David's doing on the unset is he uses so what he means by that is the model, he leaves it as unset, but unset or chat GPT 4.0 mini allows him to use what's on his system, which is equivalent of Jeffery AI. So even his responses, for example, when he's on X and he's responding to people who post, we've already trained it with how I respond and my tone and my style, so it makes it me. And even though he's my brother, I think it's safe to say, Dave, that we have far different styles. Would you say that?
Slightly.
Slightly. And when you say slightly, what do you mean by slightly?
I'm really mean. Chew people out on Twitter.
Yeah, David's the nicest person alive, and so he said one time, I'm not quite sure we come from the same parents, and I don't think he meant that as mean, but we are definitely different personalities, and so he uses an avatar that's been trained on me, and so I'm not going to give a public avatar of Jeff, but inside of his account, he's got one that's been trained with my tone and my style. So to do that, he'll have to select Chat GPT or the unset, and it'll allow him to use that avatar that's been trained. So hopefully
it does a great job. It does a great job sounding like you. It really does.
Well, when I read something, I said, did I read that, or did I do that, or did David do that? That's when I know that it's programmed well on me. So, and there's a lot of different agencies now that do different responses for some of their clients, and that's a really great way to be able to do that, is to pre-train the avatar and the tone and style that the client desires. So take a look at it this week, guys. Though, try it, see how the different systems work. When I say different systems, the different platforms, see how it's giving you different results, and look forward to seeing you guys next week on the same time, 2:00 Mountain, 4:00 Eastern. Bring your questions, and let's help you grow your business.
Thanks, Jeff.
Talk to you soon.
Thanks,
Thank
guys.
you.
Thanks, Jeff.
See you, everybody. Bye.